If you're starting a marketing agency, it's important to select a niche to go after to start collecting clients. So in this video, we're gonna show you exactly how to pick a niche by looking at things like what types of businesses you should talk to, how big they should be, what types of products they work with, how that coincides with your ability to understand the business and everything else that goes into picking a niche. So if you're interested in that, stay tuned, we got a good one for you. All right, welcome back everybody, and thank you for joining me. My name is Jordan Steen, also known as Serial Entrepreneur, and at this channel we talk all about starting a marketing agency, building a personal brand, or really just using digital marketing to build any business online. So if you're interested in any of those topics, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification bell over here in the bottom right hand corner so that way you get updated with all of our future videos, trainings, free resources, and free giveaways. Oh, and PS, make sure you stay tuned to the end of today's video because if you do, we'll give you access to a checklist that has helped thousands of people start their marketing agency off on the right foot. And really quickly, guys, this video's winner of the 3-month mentorship program giveaway is going to be Marian Njaga for commenting basically what she learned in the video for the complete guide to Facebook Messenger ads. So all you have to do is leave us a comment after this video telling us what you learned. We're going to pick one more winner to win the 3-month mentorship program or the free 3 months for the mentorship program. So make sure to leave a comment. So what exactly is a niche, or some people like to call it a niche? Essentially a niche or a niche is a subsection or a subtopic of a larger section or topic. So basically, if we're looking at businesses, our niche could be attorneys or doctors or contractors or restaurants or gyms or app development companies, e-commerce companies. All of those are niches of businesses, right? And you can also look at niching down by going so far as looking at niching your services down if you feel like that's the move you want to make. Now, again, I like to go the comprehensive approach where we do everything, but if you're not familiar with a lot of digital marketing, that can be complicated for you. So maybe starting by niching down on your services and your clients could be a good way for you to specialize and then grow from there. But really, another reason why people niche down is because it's easier to become an expert in one area and really hone in on your skill sets and provide the best value and service possible, which is going to get you more raving customers, which then in turn grows to a growing business. So then once your business starts growing, you're able to take on more services, maybe expand your customer profiles that you work with. So instead of just doing one niche, maybe now you service 5 to 10 different niches. But guys, really the biggest thing is every niche is different. The way you're going to create marketing campaigns and sell those marketing campaigns is going to be completely different. So by focusing in the beginning on one, you're able to, again, really get good at what you're doing with that specific industry and then learn as well as grow and start to take on more businesses as you're able to manage it. So for example, what I did was I was really good with restaurants. I worked in restaurant industries for like 5 years when I was in college and a little bit before that. So I had a lot of experience. I made it all the way up to where I was managing a restaurant before I left college. So that being said, I understood the customers, I understood the business, I understood profit margins for different types of restaurants. And so I wanted to target them because I knew I could understand how to talk to them better than just about anybody else could. Also, I understood what it would take to create effective marketing campaigns for them. So that was the niche I initially started out with. As the business grew, I started to go into the real estate niche and even the auto industry a little bit, not on the like auto dealership side of things, but more on the manufacturing side of things. So my recommendation is to pick 1 to 2 niches, at the most 3 niches to start off with at first. So that way you can actually open up your customer base a little bit, because sometimes, especially if you're in a smaller city, maybe one niche is not a good idea because there's just not enough around you to start targeting those customers, right? So you might need to add on a 2nd or 3rd niche, but any niche that you add on, you need to be able to speak the language. You need to understand their niche, what their customers are looking for, what they are looking for as a business, and learn to speak their terminology and basically their language, and you'll do a much better job at getting them on as customers. So I want you to do me a favor and tell me about your niche or niches in the comments section right below this video. We want to actually respond back to you and see how your niche is going. And not only that, but figure out if there's any way that we can help you better target your niche or create campaigns for your niche. So make sure to leave your niche and what you've done so far down in the comments below. Now, the next thing you want to do with your niche while you're selecting your niche is just be realistic with yourself. And what I mean by that is this. Number one, look at the competition, okay? Try to find out if there are other marketing agencies out there doing the exact same thing that you're trying to do. And once you get started there, you'll want to look at things like content quality and even potentially ad spend, because eventually you will have to compete with those other businesses. So do you think that there's a way or an angle that you can approach that'll allow you to take on clients that they might not necessarily get? And are the competitors that are in your niche really big brands or just kind of small? Do they have a personal brand where people know their agency really, really well, or are they kind of up and coming like you're going to be? Another thing is, what are they charging for their services? What services do they offer? All of these things that the competition does or offers are things that you can potentially use to craft your own agency. And a little hint for you guys, what I used to do when I was in Jacksonville, I worked for an agency the first time ever. I would actually call around to agencies and try to get them to send me some pricing for some of the campaigns that they were going to create. That way I had something to compare my own agency against and go into the competition with a little bit of knowledge about what they might be charging versus what I can charge to get that customer and still make a profit. The next thing you want to be realistic about is your skills and strengths and weaknesses, okay? The biggest thing that people don't want to pay attention to a lot of the time is, are they going to be able to work in that niche? And really what that comes down to is, how long have you been experienced or exposed to this niche before? What background experience do you have that's going to help you have an edge basically over the competition? Keep in mind that some industries will work better with your strengths and skill sets. And then ask yourself, would this niche be better as a future goal, or is this really one of the primary ones that I'm going to look at? And we'll put this one on the list for sure. So guys, just be realistic with yourself. Really, talk to yourself about, do I understand and really know the customers and the business of this niche? Because if you don't, it's going to make it harder for you. Some other questions you're going to want to ask is this niche actually rewarding? Is this a niche that's actively involved in digital marketing? Unfortunately, there are some industries out there that are really slow on the ball. Like, for example, real estate. They just got really big in digital marketing about 2 or 3 years ago. So it's one of the biggest industries out there, but it took them a long time to see the value in digital marketing. So make sure that your industry is one that's actually active in our form of business. Some other things you can ask yourself are, what are your hobbies or your passions? Is it an actual product, or do you like actual services? And do you like helping people around those services or products? Or is it more for intrinsic value because of the feeling that you get for helping others, even without them knowing that you're helping them? Oh, and P.S., if you're wondering what some of the best SMMA niches are for 2019, check out this video up here in the top right-hand corner, or you can come back to it later and check it out then. So now that you're done kind of selecting your niche, or at least you have an idea of who you want to work with and you have some industries that you're going to look at, the next thing that you do is get to know your niche. It's also known as doing your niche work. Now, basically all this means is, let's talk to people in the niche. So we're going to talk to people who are either business owners of the niche. If you can, talk to other marketers in the niche. You can find groups online. You don't have to go to your local area. Find groups online and find people who are working in that specific niche. Talk to them and see what they're doing. Review future predictions and business industry trends for that niche. That's going to be super important for you. After that, begin to look at the products and services of a niche and what their profit margins might be like. This is going to be important because it's going to let you know how big of a business they are going to have to be able to afford your services. Too many people get caught up in this and they, for example, try to go for a restaurant and they only find like a pizza shop that only has one location, which unfortunately, unless that pizza shop is selling $20 to $30 pizzas on average and they're just slap full with 100 people all the time, they're not going to be able to afford your service. So really understand the ins and outs of your niche and what they're able to afford, what their marketing budgets look like on an annual, or on a monthly rather, and annual basis. And then finally, are there any regulations to this niche? For example, the drug and alcohol industry is heavily regulated. The banking industry, heavily regulated. So are there going to be hurdles that you're going to have to overcome, or is there going to be maybe some law that you need to study so that way you understand what you're not supposed to do and what you are supposed to do? Another step that people sometimes take after they figure out their niche and do their niche work is maybe they'll sub-niche or drill down into their niche a little further and find a subcategory that they could work in. So for example, if you wanted to go after auto dealers, you could always go after the, stereotypical auto dealership, or maybe you go into high-end dealerships and only focus on luxury dealerships that sell like Lamborghinis and Ferraris and things like that. Or maybe you go to the classic dealerships and find people who only only sell cars that were made in like the 50s and 60s and 70s. But basically, guys, there are ways to make yourself highlighted as an expert in a specific industry. And you can even narrow that industry down further by finding a subcategory of a specific niche. So you might do something like this. You'll create a niche list. And what this might look like is, for example, you have number one, you have doctors, right? That's the industry you want to go after. But from there, we're going to look at, well, maybe I would like to talk to specifically plastic surgeons. And then from there, we can say, okay, well, I have plastic surgeons specifically, but from here, how about we look at people who are doing facial plastic surgery, or maybe they do, or they have multiple locations in multiple states, right? Those are the specific types of plastic surgeons we're going to go after. So it's about really understanding who your target audience is and who you really want to take on as a client. So guys, before we get out of here, what is a niche that you've tried to go after in the past that did not work out for you? I want you to leave those in as well in the comments and say, this one did not work out for me. So that way we know, because we ask people what niches they're trying to go into. Make sure I know this is one we do not want to go into. Write it in the comments below, because we definitely want to know here at my agency, and I'm sure there's tons of other owners out there that would love to know as well. But guys, that is it for this video. Make sure that you check out our SMMA checklist in the description right below this video. It's the link at the very top of the description. That way you can get all of the free tools and resources and access to a 2-week training. Not to mention, make sure to leave a comment right below telling us your story and telling us about your niche, so that way we can pick one winner to give 3 months of our mentorship program away to. But that is it for this video, guys. If you loved it, throw a thumbs up, and we will see you on the next one. Until then, Serial Entrepreneur out. Bye, guys.
Ready to start living the 6-figure work wherever, be your own boss lifestyle? Well, at Serial Entrepreneur Academy, we'll teach you how to use a laptop and internet to start your own social media and digital marketing agency. Get started with our free Facebook ads training. Links in the description below, guys. See you in the course. Serial Entrepreneur out.